And here we
We're shutting down our minds. We just want to feel that rush. Losing track of time, but that's so typical of us. When I hear the bass playing, we're on the floor. I just want to let out my roar. Can't wait no more. Dancing like we're animals. Hands up in the air. Jump around like you don't care. Let people stare. Just put your hands up in the Just put your hands up in the air. Dancing like we're animals. Moving through the lights, let the music carry me. Act like tomorrow never comes, it's as good as it can be. When I hear the bass playing, we're on the floor. I just wanna let out my roar. Can't wait no more, dancing like we're animals. Hands up in the air. Jump around like you don't care. Let people stare. Just put your hands up in the Just put your hands up in the air. Dancing like we're animals.
Hi, everybody. We're here at the cafe. I am so happy. I just needed to raise the energy in the cafe. Well, the guys outside, all the critters outside, their energy was up. But boy, it's been a little rough inside here, right on inside here at the Animal Lovers Cafe. I'm so happy you're here. So speaking of animals, of course, that's why we're here. Have you ever wondered, why do they do that? Right? Your animal companions or other animals, have you ever wondered, like, why are they doing something, anything? It doesn't matter what it is. Why? If you have, write yes in the comments, if you want to, and stick around because the whole purpose of our meeting today is that I'm going to share with you a couple of examples of how to get the real answer to why do they do that? Why the heck? Yeah, Cheryl. Why do they do that? I mean, oh, and hi, Marcus. Welcome. So why do animals do that? Right? That's what we're going to be talking about. But first, I want to welcome all the new people because we have a lot of new people. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Animal Lovers Cafe. I'm so happy you're here. If you're new, please write new in the comments because we have a lot of great people right here in the Animal Lovers Cafe, along with the wonderful animals. And there's Luna. So please let us get to know you because we're a great group here. Animal lovers. I mean, how good is that? And if you don't know me, my name is Janet Dobbs of the Animal Lovers Cafe, but also of Animal Paradise Communication and Healing, where my greatest joy is to help you discover your unique way of telepathically communicating with animals. How good is that, right? That's kind of what we're going to be talking about in a way. Oh, everybody's here. Cheryl. Luna says hi back. Let's see, where'd she go? There she is. So Luna's over here keeping an eye on things outside the cafe window. So earlier this week, somebody sent me this kind of a link. You know, you get the links all the time, right? It's like, oh, you got to read this. You got to check this out. And I was curious because, first of all, this person never sends me anything. And I clicked on it, and it was quite interesting. So it's kind of what inspired today's live. I'm going to just kind of share with you a little story. So remember, okay, so it's about songbirds and a special bird, a sparrow, a special breed of, or species? Is that the right word? I'm not sure. Of sparrow. And let me see. So this particular sparrow, well, we just have to get Luna into another place. We'll just move Luna over here. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Anyhow, this particular sparrow is, I'm not sure exactly where they live, but, and if you want to find out more about this actual article and link, I have the link in the description below, so check it out. But so I'm not going to get into the science of everything. The science? What are you talking about, science? Okay, so there was this person who, I'm not sure if they were scientists. I have a feeling they were doing a study, right? Like scientists do. And they went under is it the Golden Gate Bridge that's in San Francisco? They went under that bridge and they had an audio recorder and they were recording the song of this bird. This bird. And what they heard, what they noticed, was the bird's song was not what it used to be and not what it's like with the same kind of bird in other places that aren't in a city. So what was going on? I found this really fascinating in the article. I'm not going to go into the scientific details of like frequency, but all of us, like we have frequencies in our voice. So sometimes we speak really high and some people speak really low and in between. So we have all these ranges. And the birds, yeah, it gets even more interesting. Cheryl, I'm going to have to move Luna. So the frequencies of this bird's song, the traffic and all of the noise of the city blocked that particular frequency. So the songbird, it would have high range, low range, mid range, and it also did those beautiful little warbles that and trills that birds will do. But it wasn't doing that anymore in this particular recording. And if you want to hear the recording, check the link in the description below and go to the link because there's the audio recording before and after. Okay, after what? So the scientists were curious. Why, right? Why did what happened? In case I forgot to tell you, the songbird's original song was no longer their song because to be heard. So what do birds do? They call to their mates. They try to attract mates. They talk to each other. Sometimes they sing just for the sake of singing. I mean, how good is that, right? Just sing your song. But with all of the noise of the city, their song couldn't be heard. They couldn't hear each other. So they had to just kind of yell, I guess, the equivalence of yelling, right? And so their song was no longer heard. And then the generations that were born afterward, they weren't taught that song. Well, let's move forward. That's enough about the science. And if you want to really read about the details, they're fascinating. Please read the article. But remember, just 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, maybe, when the pandemic first started and we had lockdown all over the world. Remember the changes? Like the waters got clear, the pollution went away, the air got clear, right? And the noise went away. So the scientists went back to the exact same location and recorded the song of the bird. And guess what? Guess what? The original song came back. Yeah, earth healing. The original song came back. And so you can hear it in the recordings. So this bird was not only singing the songs, but the little trills and the little warbles were back. How did that happen? So the scientists, it's so cool. I was blown away. The article's really, really, really good. So, but what got me was like, wow. And the article kind of left like they tried to do their scientific, we humans, we get in our brains, we get in our minds, we try to figure it out. Well, why did that happen? And so they came up with something. But what's the best way to find out something from someone? Ask them. So I thought, well, I'm going to try this. And so I asked the birds as a whole. I just got really quiet and I sat with them. I said, could you show me, like, why did you stop singing? And why did you start singing again? And, I forgot to leave. I left this part out. As things started to open back up and the traffic came back and the sounds of the city came back and got loud, the birds continued to sing their true song, their warbling song, their trills, the full range of their song. So why don't you join me? Ask this bird or their friends, why? What happened? So I'll share with you what I got. What I received from all of the birds was, and it's really logical. Imagine this. So you're trying to contact your friend, and it's so noisy. What do? You yell, right? And then that's the way life is. So we're just yelling all the time. And then all of a sudden it goes quiet. And you kind of get back to your true self, your true nature, who we truly are as beings, whether it's a bird or a human. It's like the quiet. We don't realize how much noise is around us all the time, everywhere, all the time. It's never just that quiet. Some people are actually scared of the silence. But the birds were really clear that they can't, even though their generation had never heard that song, it just came back naturally. So there's some things that are in our DNA. It's just there. And it can't be, it's passed from generation to generation. So they just kind of gave this, so sit with the birds, see what they might have to tell you. Yeah. So Cheryl, I hope you can, read, check. I highly encourage, check the link out and read the story. It's quite fascinating. But then really sit with the birds and ask them to show you, why did they stop singing? How were they able to start singing again? And it's so interesting. They're like, yeah, we're not going back. We're singing our song now. Yeah, about the quiet. Yeah, so I just found that so fascinating and inspiring and just got me back to some of my roots, like asking and connecting with the animals. So yeah, if you have any questions, please, put a Q in the comments and, ask. Let's see if I'm just checking to see if anybody from over on Facebook. So also, while we're here, don't forget to please like and subscribe for future videos and connection with me, because I really love the connection with you. Whoops. So as I was thinking about that and connecting with the sparrow, I was reminded of other times when Well, I first learned about go directly to the animal and ask the animal why. When I was learning animal communication, I had a couple of teachers, but my main teacher was Penelope Smith, who is kind of like the grandmother of animal communication, animal communicators, as far as bringing it to the world. And she would always say, when the students would say, why do they do this? Or what about? And she would just always go like, ask them. And we'd be like, oh, rats, we wanted you to tell us. We wanted you to do it for us, right? Oh, Cheryl, yeah. When we ask, does the answers come quick and should it? Yes. Okay, so when you're communicating telepathically, you just get quiet and you can receive in different ways. So it's not necessarily words in your head, thank goodness. Sometimes it comes as a feeling, a sense of knowing, a physical sensation. You might hear a sound, like in the case of the bird, you might hear the bird singing. And you're like, there aren't any birds around. But yeah, you just get really quiet, and it comes like that fast. Before you can get the question out, the answer has come. So the first thing you get, if you happen to be able to write something down, write that down. Or just remember, take that in. Because what happens, especially to beginning animal communication students, we get in our heads and we start to question, oh, that can't be right. Oh, maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. And we negate ourselves. So accept the first thing that comes and stick with that. Yeah. Yeah, so thanks for that question. Yeah, they come really, really quick. It's just an instant telepathic communication is like so fast. We slow things down by our verbal words. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm excited to try. Yeah, try every day with any animal, your own animal, our animals. So I'm going to go a little deeper and give you a little something in a little bit. But I wanted to share another story that I experienced, kind of, in a way. And I was like, oh, wow, this stuff is so amazing, meaning telepathic communication. I never take it for granted. I'm always like grateful and excited and like, oh, wow. So let me see if I can get to, whoops, there we go. Oh, I already saw that. I'm sorry. There's the bird again. Wanted to come back and say hi. So this is a whale, obviously. I took this picture, and this is my little whale tail. I went on a whale trip. My animal communication teacher, Penelope Smith, facilitated swimming with the whales and communicating with the whales in the Silver Bank, which is off the coast of the Dominican Republic. And the whales, the humpback whales, come every winter to have their babies, but I didn't know they also come to mate. So it's just a really, 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 really exciting place to be, exciting time. And so a group of us, I don't know how many, like 10, maybe 20, 15 maybe people, were out for 1 week in the open ocean. I've never done that before. And we got in the water with the whales sometimes. But this picture was taken from our little boat, little tender. So why am I bringing up whales? There was this really interesting thing that happened. Okay, so the white hat was me on our little tender, and there was a whale just kind of doing a slap. They're so cool. It's like just an amazing thing to be able to be in the presence of such amazing beings. So there was this question that came up when we would go out several times every day from our little moored ship, and then our little tenders. And then when it was safe, we would get in the water and kind of snorkel, and we would be able to look down and see the whales on the bottom, and the babies would come up. And it was just really a life-changing experience. So during a dinner, when we had a lot of discussions, scientists were there. There were several scientists, and they were like, so why, okay, I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see this, but they were like, why do certain whales have these big gouges on their bodies? So the scientists were trying to figure it out, and they came up with all kinds of interesting scientific reasons, right? But Penelope stood up and she said to everybody, ask them. Duh, go to the source, ask the whales. Why? You want to know what the answer was? This is just like blew me away. So here these beautiful, massive whales have these big, huge scars, and it's the females. So what the whales showed us was, as this is their place, their sanctuary where they come to have their babies. So in the process, and it's a old dying coral reef. Okay, the silverbank is an old coral reef, and so as the mothers are giving birth, they start spinning in the water. And as they spin in the water to, push the baby out, they rub up or bump up against the coral reef and they get scratched. That's it. That's the answer. Like, isn't that like, oh, duh. It's as simple as that. That's what the answer was to the why. Why do they have those scars? So many of them, and they were all females that had the scars. So I found that stayed with me all of my life, since then. First of all, ask them. The scientists sometimes have the answers, but not always. And yeah, Cheryl. So simple, and we want to make it complicated because we're human. And we have our minds thinking, and we think things have to be so complicated, right? Yeah. So how does that apply to your own animals? Why are they doing something? Like there's some behavior they might have or some funny thing, or there's another kind of an animal somewhere, another species. It might not even be a dog, a cat, a horse, but let's just take your own animal, like your dog, your cat, your horse, and all of it. They behave in a certain way. Maybe it's destructive behavior. Maybe it's something quirky. Maybe it's something wonderful. And you want to know, well, why do you do that? Why did you do that? Why, the why? Well, instead of being up in your head, take a breath and get quiet. Don't listen to the music that we listened to in the beginning that gets you up and dancing and just vibration is really high. Yeah, take that high vibration, take a breath, sit down or just stand, feel your feet on the ground, breathe a whole lot. Breathing is a really good thing. And when you feel really quiet, connect with your animal, whether they're in person, right there in front of you. Like Luna. What are you doing over there, Luna? Whether you're, right here like we are with Luna, or if your animal companion is in another room, outside, maybe even in another location, you can connect with them by getting quiet, feeling them in your heart. When you really feel like you've just got that connection, even feel connected to them with your heart, and then drop it down. Drop down into your belly, like where you breathe, into that place, that sense of knowing where you have your gut feeling. That's your truth. It's kind of like your soul right there, into that place. Connect with your animal or another animal. You can close your eyes, but just be really quiet. You can have your eyes open. And then just be and listen. Ask your question and then listen. And listen with your whole being. Your heart, your ears, your eyes, your body. Because sometimes they might give you a physical sensation. Like maybe you get a pain in your shoulder. And you didn't have a pain in your shoulder. Well, that's their pain. And that's them saying, hey, I did that because I have a pain in my shoulder and I can't do it the way I used to. So just give that a try anytime. And I'd really, really love to hear, after you after you practice it a lot. And maybe even write down your answers. It's really, really nice to keep a little journal of questions and responses and communications and experiences that you've had with animals. Because it's really kind of fun to look back on and go like, oh, wow, that was really amazing. I don't remember that. But yeah, just write it down, what you received, and share it with me. You know, whether you can private message me or just put it in the comments under this recording when it's a recording. But I would really love to hear how things are going for you. And if you have any questions, please, put it in the comments or ask me, because I'm always happy to answer a question, especially about animals, because that's what this is all about. Yeah, so that's kind of why do animals do that? How to get the answer? Ask them. Ask them to tell you and to show you and share with you. So I hope that helped you, and I hope you've kind of had a little bit of fun. Thank you so much for being here. I can't wait to see you again, but I can't wait to hear all about how things go with your animals. So in the meantime, just have the best time with animals. Sorry, that's a little bit loud. But have a great time with your animals. Thanks, Cheryl. I enjoyed it too. See you next time, Marcus. Thanks for being here. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Have fun with animals. No matter where they are, whether they live with you, or they're wild ones, or other people's animals. Always say hi to them and listen for the hi back. That's a really good way to have fun with animals. See you next time.